Yeah, I mean, because I would have loved to have been able to do a Scatman Crothers. That would have been, Megatron, you're going down. But
Will these infernal setbacks never end?
The revolution begins now.
The universal greeting. Bioweed, Grana, Week, Nibong.
Hey, Sorry here. This episode of Transformation Animation Podcast features Stephen C. Phillips, Mike Blanchard, and Michael Wilson.
Lord, no.
I watched Kermit the Frog on YouTube earlier complaining about customer service.
Cue the radio voice.
Hello and welcome to episode 16 of Transformation Animation Podcast. I am one of your hosts, DFG and Mike, and joining me is Steve Megatron. Hello.
Hello.
Pecan Court Michael. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going. And returning from Cybertron, Optimus Solo. Hello.
It's been a long, strange trip, but I'm back.
And you survived.
So far.
Space Bridge did not malfunction.
Not yet. Today we are going to be recapping Season 3 of Transformers Animated. So, Steve, what have you been up to?
Nothing much besides playing DC Online. DC Universe Online. Because it's free. So I've been playing that, and I have... Because you're only allowed 2 characters for the free account. So I have one bad, one good. And one that looks kind of like Batman and is mentored by Batman, and one that kind of looks like the Joker and is mentored by the Joker.
Surprise, surprise.
Yes. It's awesome. Although, I still am waiting for Arkham City to come out on the PC because it keeps getting delayed. Bastards.
Really?
Yeah, for some reason.
No interest.
What?
No interest.
I'll send Captain Clown after you.
Actually, I'm in the parking lot of the GameStop right now. I've been waiting here for 3 days for my copy of Skyrim.
Boo.
You guys don't play the Elder Scrolls games? Come on.
Boo.
I think you're saying boo at you being there for 3 days.
I'm saying boo for the whole game. Boo.
I thought he was going to say like Modern Warfare or whatever.
Oh, no. Yeah, I did see the line outside the GameStop the other night, though. That was crazy.
Speaking of Modern Warfare, I guess over in the UK, somebody held up a couple of semis and stole $1 million worth of them.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh, I read an article. This guy bought a copy, drove home, and someone had followed him into his parking lot and then tried to mug him and take his game.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And
This is why I don't play video games.
He ran up and beat the guy up.
It's the 90s with Michael Jordan shoes all over again.
Well,
Michael
that's why you go on Steam and you download it. There's no physical copy, bastard.
I want to hold it in my hands.
This just increases piracy now.
Yeah, I've never played those. I mean, I like first-person shooters, but I've never played the Call of Duty games, the Modern Warfare games. I forget which one it is, but
it's Call of Duty Modern Warfare is what it's called.
There we go. Yeah, it looks really good. I've seen
the commercials
video.
Yeah. So, Michael, what have you been up to?
This month is National Novel Writing Month.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I'm writing a novel.
Nice.
Totally writing a novel. Actually, I'm. It's turning out to be more like a short story. You're supposed to write 55,000 words in a month. And I've got 16 chapters planned, and as it stands, each one is about 500 to 1,000 words. And that's 16,000 words. And I'm not going to get anywhere near 55,000, but this is my first try. So, yeah, it's a nice first try. It's an interesting story. When I'm done with it, I'll probably burn it. Yeah, but it's a nice first try.
Don't burn it.
Well, I let Chrissy read the first chapter, and she was like, "Did you write this?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "This is dumb."
Ouch.
It's stupid sci-fi, so
Oh.
nothing to do with Transformers. Although that's probably what I should have wrote just for fun, because I know that better than almost anything else. But I didn't want to go that route. I don't want to go down the creepy fan fiction route,
Well, the only way you could go down the creepy fan fiction route is if you melded G1, Beast Wars, Beast Machines, Animated, and Prime all together.
I thought that's what Animated did.
Shut up.
I think that was Cybertron, Transformers or Cybertron. Yeah.
And Kevin, what have you been up to?
Oh my goodness, I have been on a movie marathon for Behind the Voice Actors. I've added so many movies in the last, 2 or 3 weeks.
Stuff I've never heard of. At least every time I see you post about each movie, I'm like,
I added one of the Alvin and the Chipmunks, Meet the Wolfman. I did Astro Boy. I did Barnyard. I did all 4 Bionicle movies.
Wow.
What else have I done? Here's the ones that you haven't heard of are the Ralph Bakshi ones. Cool World, Coonskin. I did the video game movie, or the movie based on the video game Dead Space, Downfall. Dirty Duck, which is not a rated G movie. Fire and Ice, Fritz the Cat, another one that's not rated G, and the last
G.
The last one I just did was Happily Ever After, the Filmation version of Snow White. So trying to get our.
Speaking of Snow White, I've gotten into a debate with someone on Twitter, because I know Steve and Kevin don't care about this. I don't know how Michael feels about this, but I've found Get Glue, and it's just addicting. And I watched the Snow White and the Huntsman trailer. It's probably the best rendition of Snow White ever, because that animated movie sucks ass. And I got into a debate on Twitter with somebody about this. Person's like, that's blasphemy. That movie is great. I was like, here, go to Tooncast episode 29, Snow White, listen to Kevin and I's thoughts, and then you can debate me if the movie is that great. Because I'm sorry, I don't care how many people say, oh, it's number one because it's the first or whatever else. That movie sucks. But Snow White and the Huntsman, the new movie coming out next year, looks pretty decent.
I think Michael wants to say something.
Well, first of all, I didn't realize that you were, an expert on the lore behind the Snow White story. I mean, I realized that once classic folklore gets fed into the Disney meat grinder, it doesn't come out quite the same. And yet that's the accepted version for almost everyone. And secondly, how many renditions of the story have there really been?
The Disney version, the version with Drew Barry. I mean, there's so many different.
There's a Drew Barrymore version?
Oh, no, wait, that's the Cinderella story.
Because I would watch the hell out of that, yeah.
There's the Filmation version that I just talked about. And
there's the Filmation version.
That's 7 female dwarves. But they're all troll-like things.
Wow.
Awesome.
Lesbian dwarfs, lovely.
Yeah, so it's just like, what was the movie that came out not too long ago? It was with the big bad wolf. It was a new version of Snow White.
No, they had Little Red Riding Hood.
I'm sorry, not Snow White. It was Little Red. That's right. I'm sorry. It was a new version of Little Red Riding Hood with the big bad wolf, and that was supposed to be the new version, and I couldn't get into it, and I'm afraid I'm going to go see this new movie and say, "Ooh, I just
what they're
can't
doing
get
is
into
they're
this."
taking all these old, folklore type shows, and they're trying to capitalize on the, what is the Twilight / supernatural phenomenon. And
right.
That's what Little Red Riding Hood was going to be, and I'm guessing that's what Snow White they're going to do with that too. It's just a darker, more adult version of these fairy tales in live action with CG.
Right.
After the Disney version, there was an all new, quote unquote, live version was done as a West German film in 1955.
It's very obscure. So
there
not a
was
whole lot.
Version in 1961, which is a parody. an episode of the Brady Bunch was dedicated to it. Ugh.
Well, the thing with Filmation, a little known fact here, Filmation actually at one point had planned to do follow-up sequel/prequel movies to all of the Disney movies in their version, but they only got through the Snow White one and one other one, and I think it was either like Peter Pan or 101 Dalmatians, and then they didn't continue that. But originally they were going to do something based off all the different Disney movies, and that would have been kind of interesting. But my problem with Snow White has nothing to do with the Snow White lore or the Snow White story. My problem with Snow White is people saying that it's the best Disney movie ever.
Oh, no, it's ancient.
Yeah, and when you take you can't hold it up against so many other Disney movies that were way better, and that's my problem. I don't have a problem with Snow White as compared to other Snow Whites. My problem is Snow White compared to other Disney movies. It's not.
If you're 90 years old, it was awesome. You know, back in the day when you were used to seeing all black and white movies and then a 34-minute color animated film.
Right.
But you can't hold that up next to like a Lion King.
Yeah, Lion King, Little Mermaid, and Aladdin smashed the hell out of it.
Oh yeah, no, those are awesome. Those are the new classics, to be honest.
And yes, folks, this is Transformers animated.
One more thought here before we go. As far as I'm concerned, any of these new movies that are coming out that are trying to Twilightify the old folklores, I can't get into it because vampires don't sparkle.
Well,
except for that last second before they burst into flame when the sun hits them.
In the case of Snow White and the Huntsman, it's one of the better remakes. It's one of the better, newer, stylized movies, thank God.
Well, the thing about Little Red Riding Hood, I think, is...
It hasn't come out yet. How can you even say that?
Because I like the trailer, damn it.
He based stuff off of commercials and trailers. You should know this.
And now that Blanchard has made an opinion, it is law. Don't contradict it.
But fuck you guys, I'm going home.
The Little Red Riding Hood, though, I thought what was interesting about that is that the whole movie, I haven't seen it, but I thought the idea was that you don't know who the Big Bad Wolf is. It's one of the other characters in the movie, and there's supposed to be some type of mystery involved in that, or suspense.
I saw it coming a mile away.
Okay, I haven't seen the movie, so I was hoping it was going to be good when I saw it.
It's very pretty. It's a pretty movie. It's a really nice period piece. You know, it's not like you have villagers in the 13th century wearing mascara. You know, it's a very pretty movie. It's just not what I expected. I really expected it to be really kind of deep horror, and it wasn't.
I was just kidding.
Something more important than talking about Get Glue and...
we don't want to talk about Get Glue or else I'll rip Mike a new one.
No, you won't.
I hate Get Glue. It's such an annoying thing to see pop up on Twitter every 5 seconds.
It's better than Foursquare.
It's almost as bad.
No, it's better than Foursquare. Anyway, we're going to get into the Season 3 recap of Transformers Animated.
Will you better?
That was the most bizarre introduction ever.
You mean my dad put Megatron parts in me? Ew!
We are back, and as I said, we're going to be recapping Season 3. We have a few different categories for this. We have favorite episodes, favorite characters, favorite moments, and then we have least favorite moments, least favorite episodes, and least favorite characters. And then each of us will give our overall thoughts on Season 3 individually. Starting out with favorite episodes, for me, it's fairly simple. Transwarped, Where Is Thy Sting, Predacons Rising, Decepticon Air, This Is Why I Hate Machines, and Endgame.
You just named half the episodes in the season.
Well, that's because they're all the good ones.
There's like 9 episodes in the season, and you just named 6 of them.
There's 13, actually.
Well, I'm not counting the 2-parters.
Blanchard has formed an opinion, and that opinion is law!
I love Transwarped for all the homages. I love seeing Rodimus in that. I love the story, what they did with Wasp and Where Is Thy Sting. Obviously, the Beast Wars references in Predacons Rising. I would love to see.
I love how enthused you are on your favorite episodes.
Shut up. I would love to see an animated version of, and I mean animated as far as animation, an animated film version of Con Air, because I think that would be hilarious.
Sigh.
Shut up.
That's all the world needs is more Nick Cage.
Oh, God, here we go.
My hair is a bird. Your argument isn't valid.
He never ages. He's from the Civil War time. Didn't you see that picture?
Yes.
That is great. Yeah.
This is why I hate machines, just for all the cameos and all the Cybertronian stuff and the jazz moments and the shockwave moments. That was really great. And of course, Endgame, because even though we all, well, maybe not all of us, Kevin probably didn't want this, but even though most of the Transformers animated fandom wanted a season 4, I think Endgame kind of put a very distinct period on the series, especially with that last 54 seconds of music. That's just awesome. So, Steve, do you have any favorite episodes? I know you have at least one.
Pass. No, I'm just playing. No, I would say probably Transwarped was a good.
All of it?
Yeah, give or take. I mean, a few that were displayed, but i.e., Headmaster and all that crap.
Now, hold on. Wait a second.
Shut your pie hole. It's my turn.
That wasn't Headmaster. That was the Headmaster unit.
Blow it out your ass. Predacons Rising. That would be my next one. And Endgame. That's it.
Of course, you'd head straight for the Beast Wars episode.
Hell yeah, I would. That was the best series of all of them. The only one that matters in the long run.
Wow.
Whoa.
All right.
Yeah,
Michael,
take that.
What about you for favorite episodes from season 3?
I'm going to start off with 5 Servos of Doom. I like the Prowl backstory. Anything with Lance Henriksen in it has my vote. George Takei gets a voice. There's ninjas, which is always awesome. And I want to say the downside is that they introduced the new, quote unquote, the Sari's key of season 3, which is processor over matter. And I actually think they introduced it earlier as a kind of a concept, but this is the first time that it's actually been a key part of an episode. Yeah. Secondly, this is why I hate machines. We get to. I'm not a huge fan of a fan zone fan, if you will. All right, but this is nice because we visit Cybertron, and there's a lot of cameos. We get to see Metroplex and City Mode. There's a purple Shockwave. Rat Trap is there. One of my favorite lines is "Robot Dame in a room explains everything." I thought that was great. Decepticon Air was good because Fred Willard was in it. He comes back. The clones get G1 helmets, which I really like. Alpha Trion made an appearance. And at the very end, there's a homecoming parade with lots of G1 cameos. It's a crowd scene. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, so those, I think, some of my favorites. So you have to take Transwarped, as a given, and at the end of the season, you have to take Endgame as a given. But in between, those are the 3 I like the most.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crap. Now I gotta edit this. Damn it.
Yeah, no. It's like, hello.
For edit.
Hello, nurse. Did you crap out that time? I noticed that the.
No, it was Kevin.
Yeah, my whole thing shut down.
It was all Kevin's fault.
Oh, okay.
Last thing I heard, Mike was still talking about his shows.
Oh, well, then you missed all of. Oh, fuck.
All of me yapping.
Yeah.
Yap.
All right.
Which shows did you like,
my
Michael?
bullet points, and that sound like bullet points.
And Kevin, what are your, if you even have any favorite episodes from season 3? What are they?
Well, apparently you weren't paying attention because I gave quite a few episodes high ratings.
Just because you give them high ratings doesn't mean your overall opinion of the series is good. So, I mean, as far as season 3, what do you like for episodes?
I like 3 episodes kind of stand out for me above any of the other ones. I'd probably put them as the 3 of the better episodes over not just this season but the entire series. One of them is This Is Why I Hate Machines. there was just a lot of cool moments, a lot of Cybertronian-based environments and storylines going on there. So that was cool. Decepticon Air, I just thought that was all kinds of goodness. And the other one was Where's Thy Sting? I really liked Where's Thy Sting. It was pretty cool. Mm-hmm.
That's surprising, because I have that on my list of not favorites.
I liked Where's Thy Sting because you start off with Jazz and Ultra Magnus, that's cool. You have some awesome moments from Shockwave. The whole Wasp and Bumblebee thing was fine. The only thing I didn't really like about that episode was the Jetstorm and Jetfire part, but and it had a good ending to that episode, I thought, too. So those are my three favorites. I don't like any one of them more than the other. I think they're all on equal ground, but Decepticon Air, This Is Why I Hate Machines, and Where's Thy Sting?
Uh-huh. So, moving into our favorite characters from Season 3, we're going to mix it up a bit. Steve, why don't you go first? Any favorite characters from Season 3?
Yes. I would say, first of all, Yokitron.
Woo!
Despite the fact that he was only in the one episode.
Right.
Not only did he look cool, but he had a legendary voice.
Mm-hmm.
As far as
Star Trek
actor. That's how I mean legendary, not Frank Welker.
Yeah.
Rodimus Prime. Also because they got back the original voice actor.
Yeah, Judd Nelson.
Yes, so that's why he's epic and awesome. Waspinator, despite the fact that he was nothing like the Beast Wars one, other than similar appearance, I still like the character. And finally, I'd have to say Omega Supreme, just because he's a big-ass ship. I have no main characters in there, so take that shit.
Kevin, what about you? Favorite characters from Season 3?
I also have none of the original main characters except for one. I kind of broke it down into three different groups. As far as just little cameos or quick appearances or one episode type things, I liked Alpha Trion, RC, and the very brief appearances of Trax, Warpath, and Metroplex. Trax especially I thought was a great appearance, and I know Metroplex didn't talk or transform, but he was there, damn it. As far as the more minor characters that at least got a little bit of time, I guess not minor characters, but I liked Swindle. He had some cool moments in this season. Lockdown, of course, made a reappearance, and Ultra Magnus I liked a little bit more this season than I did before. As far as the major characters that I love in this season, obviously Jazz is epically awesome in this whole series. And then as far as this season specifically, I thought Shockwave and Starscream really had some shining moments. I liked them more and more the more I saw them in this season, so Shockwave and Starscream really kind of came to the forefront. And I think the best developed character in the entire series was actually Black Arachnia. I know there wasn't a ton of episodes on her, but I just feel like they did more with that character than they did with 90% of the main characters. I got
and a sob story.
Well, it was, but they really kind of went into the emotion of it. They went into her battling the balance between the organic and the robotic or whatever you want to call the other part, and it kind of tied into the whole Sentinel Prime and Optimus feud and the Ultra Magnus angle, and everything kind of tied around that one event with Black Arachnia. I just thought they developed her better than they did, let's say, Bumblebee or Bulkhead or even, Ratchet to a point. So I guess I give a shout out to Black Arachnia. I didn't think I'd like her, but I did.
What about you, Michael?
I liked... Well, first of all, let me clarify here. As far as just Season 3 goes...
Season 3 characters.
Season 3, okay, good. Because I was going to say, out of the entire series, my favorites would have to be the Starscream clones.
Yeah, this is just the Season 3 recap. The overall series recap comes later in Episode 20.
Okay. Well, yeah, even here, Starscream clones are pretty cool. I liked Starscream's head, as he was ahead of his time. He should have stopped while he was ahead.
Yes.
I agree.
Anyway, yeah, but out of just season 3, characters that were only in season 3, I got to go with Yokitron. I agree. He's awesome, and not just because it's George Takei, but because he's an homage to Hideki Yoki, who actually he was the designer who created the first Transformer way back in the Diaclone days. Other characters that are just in S3, I mean, there's not a whole lot. I mean, there's got to be like Waspinator, Dirt Boss, Warpath maybe, but he doesn't really count. He was only there for a second. And then there's Safeguard, but he's on my list of not favorites. So out of the characters that were just in season 3, there's not a whole lot to choose from, but Yokitron fits the bill. The head of Starscream fits the bill.
Okay, then. And for me, obviously, I am a Rodimus fanboy, so that was awesome seeing him updated. I agree with Kevin on Jazz. Jazz is just amazing. I wish we actually had more of Soundwave and his Keytars. I really like those. Finally, Shockwave gets his true colors. That was awesome, and just Shockwave in general is awesome.
Yeah.
Blur, even though, sadly, he's dead.
I never liked Blur. I was kind of happy when he died.
Shut up.
It was a nice homage.
Yes.
It was a really good homage. I just didn't like him as a G1 character, and I didn't like him as an animated character. I liked him better in animated because he didn't repeat himself over and over and over again.
No,
and
I
agree. Yeah, I mean, it was nice that they used John Machida, to reprise the voice, but I just didn't get into that character.
And finally, probably, even though she didn't get enough screen time, RC. I wish that there was more with her as far as that goes. So, moving on to favorite moments. Oh boy, here we go. Kevin, any favorite moments?
Yeah, I got a few. When Shockwave got his true colors was a pretty cool moment. I really liked, out of all the flashbacks, I really liked the one with Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus, where Ultra Magnus basically, punished him to a point and then gave him his own command, even though it was just, the maintenance crew, whatever. But I liked that whole flashback sequence with Prime and Magnus. I thought that was well done. I liked most of the scenes on Cybertron. Most of those moments were pretty cool, especially when they showed the council and a couple different things on Cybertron. As far as like one of my favorite lines, I think was Waspinator or Wasp before he got put into the chamber when he's like, "No, thank you."
Yeah,
that was hilarious. And Starscream being the comedic relief in season 3 was just awesome. Starscream's head was pretty cool. My favorite moment of all of his was when he landed on Megatron's ship and Lugnut asked him if we were picking up hitchhikers now or something.
No, it's the other way around. Starscream was in the ship and Lugnut landed on the ship.
That's what I meant. That moment was pretty cool. As for my number one favorite moment of season 3, Prowl's death.
Oh.
Steve,
I cried. I cried.
God.
I cheered.
I cried to the extent that I'm able to cry.
To it.
Really?
I'm just indifferent to it at this point.
You're a
mainly
hateful
because
bastard. Y'all.
Well, I wanted more Jazz. I give a shit less about Prowl.
I want a G1 Prowl. He's my favorite G1 character. They bastardized him.
I would have been happier if G1 Prowl was more like animated Prowl, because I like that.
Don't ever say that.
That's not even
G1
Prowl.
needs more ninjas, more viable ninjas, not like
No, they don't.
Bludgeon.
If they did, they should have created new characters. Oh wait, they already had Bludgeon and characters like that, so those were comic exclusive. So they had Nightbird. That was the only ninja they needed.
Exactly.
Nightbird.
Yes. Steve, any favorite moments from season 3?
None whatsoever. No, I'm just playing. Where Rodimus is taking on the Decepticons by the space bridge.
Mm-hmm.
and shooting them with his dual arrow, bow and arrow.
That was pretty cool.
It's like the Ranger.
And then he went to Cosmic Rust, so he died.
Fucking oil slick.
But I agree with Kevin on the scene with Wasp where he's like, "No, thank you," when he goes in there.
That's a great line.
No, he doesn't go in there. She throws him in there.
I know, but I mean, still. Jumping to later in that same episode, I like the very end where Black Arachnia is teleported to in front of a ape, a rhino, a cheetah, and a giant rat.
Yeah. You're thinking too deeply into this.
I know. This is the same person that wishes they'd come out with a masterpiece Dragon Megatron that turns into the Beast Machines.
That would be cool.
It would be cool. Never happened, but it'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to keep re-releasing Prime.
Oh, God.
I think it would happen if the Beast Machine series had been better received in Japan.
I think it may have happened if Hasbro had learned how to make actual action figures around that time instead of these clunky pieces of shit. But anyways, yeah. And then, of course, the very end of Animated, where Prime and his crew have the Decepticons in tow, and he has the Magnus Hammer and the Matrix around his neck.
Yes.
I'm surprised that's not everyone's favorite moment.
Well, it was
Just
kind of
that
reminiscent
scene.
of the Transformers the movie, the real movie.
Yeah.
We know what you mean by Transformers the movie. It's not,
It's not Transformers.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon.
Yes. Michael, what about you for favorite moments from season 3?
Favorite moments. I liked Snarl getting named by Scrapper. He says, I was going to call him Slag, but I think he took that as an insult. Personally, I would have named him Slag anyway. Just, just for purist reasons. It's just no good reason to call him Snarl. Well, there's a good reason, but still, he's Slag. He'll always be Slag.
Yes.
Yeah. I liked the Brundle teleporters in Predacons Rising, and they showed followed by the that line that everyone loves. No, thank you. I think that's hilarious. I really liked it when Prime got his wings. He's flying through the air and he says, "Excellent, yes."
Makes it sound like he's an angel getting his wings.
Yeah, exactly.
He drank Red Bull.
He gets wings. But it didn't sound anything like Beast Wars Megatron, but it was a nice homage there. And it was pretty cool. It's too bad he had to have his ass handed to him by Slipstream.
Yeah.
But that was cool. I like to think the Slipstream got away.
Oh, she did.
Yeah. And I have to agree with that final scene with the music, and they're standing there and they're all in a row, and he's got the hammer. Prime has the hammer and the Matrix around his neck. It was just a really cool scene. We'll have to remember to link that image that Mike sent out last week.
Yeah, I can put it back in the episode 16 post. That's not a problem.
Yeah, I'd say it's so awesome you should put it in every post.
No, not
That's just
every
how
post.
cool it is.
No,
From here on out, every post. In fact, I'm going to try really hard to kind of find all the figures and reenact that scene or something. That was epic.
I'll talk to you about that off air because I actually have a job for you with your toys.
Ooh! All right.
So, talk to you about that off air.
Cool.
Are you going to say anything else about favorite moments?
That's all my favorite moments.
Okay. For me, sadly, even though it was only the 5 minutes he got, anything with Rodimus. Surprise, surprise. Anything with Jazz. I think Phil Lamar did an amazing, updated, cool, hip voice with Jazz. And
it's pretty vague for favorite moments. It's just like anything with Jazz was in like 5 or 6 episodes.
Well, and Jazz was awesome in every episode he was in.
Was there a particular thing that Jazz did that was more awesome than every other thing that he did?
When he said that he never listened to Sentinel Prime anyway. That
yes,
was my favorite
exactly
moment.
that. There you go. Honestly, I think for Jazz, he has a very unique character turn from season 2 to season 3, because throughout season 2, the times that we did see him in season 2, he's just kind of going along with it, and then Sentinel constantly continues to piss him off. And by the time I think this is why I hate machines, he says, "Screw it, I'm not dealing with him anymore. I'm on your team now."
Yeah.
But Phil did such an excellent job. I wish I had. I put it up. I edited the interview with Phil, and I put it up. I put a clip of it up on YouTube when we asked him, did they want you to do Scatman, or did they want you to do your own thing with the voice? And he said, well, if they asked me to do Scatman, once you have Scatman in your head, it's kind of hard to do anything else. And we had asked him if he could, give us animated Jazz in a Scatman voice, and he did it. It was so awesome. I just wish I had a slightly cleaner version of it. It's still very.
Was it vulgar?
No. Slightly cleaner as far as audio quality.
Okay. Ooh,
because
all right.
He was doing it. No. When he was doing the voice, when we're in interviews and we hear it.
It was the audio quality, not the.
Yeah, not the quality of his voice. No.
Yeah.
The audio quality of the recording, as far as because in the middle of the line, I go to start to say something, and he hadn't finished, and I'm like, oh God, I need to shut the hell up now. But it was just so awesome that he did that for us. It was so great. So yeah, anything with Jazz. I do like the character development for Optimus. Each of the main characters have their own story. Well, minus that stupid Energon farm bullshit. Starfish on an Energon farm. I'll just never get over that. I do like the overall character development for Optimus. Shockwave is by far the most vicious villain.
Are we talking about characters or moments?
No, moments. But I'm just saying, the moments that I liked with Optimus were all the character developments, with learning about his backstory, with those types of moments. As far as Shockwave, he's such a badass villain that any scene with him is awesome. I specifically like the
scenes.
Shut up. The eye into the camera fade as he's going to attack Ratchet, and this is why I hate machines. And then they cut away from it, and then they cut back to it. I thought that was awesome. And of course, all the cameos. So, not really a spoiler warning here, but for those of you who are faint at heart or don't like to hear us curse a lot, because we are an explicit podcasting network, it's best to turn back now, because we're getting into a lot of the negative stuff. So these last categories are all the least categories, and we're starting with least favorite moments. Kevin, what are your least favorite moments? I know they're numerous.
I've narrowed it down to only a handful of the worst, I think.
25.
First of all, the moments where Autobots do things that are non-Autobot-esque.
Not Autobotly.
Drinking oil. I just hate every time they put a scene of Transformers drinking anything, because I think it sends a bad message to kids. That's the teacher in me coming out.
I agree with that.
I especially didn't like when they had the Autobots destroying the city. That's just not something Autobots do. They wouldn't have done it. Even
when
if there
did they
was
destroy the city?
When they're taking buildings and stuff in their oh God, I'm forgetting which episode that was. It was towards the end, and they're they're like picking up buildings and ripping them apart and throwing them at people throwing them at a Decepticon to stop them or something. Shoot, I can't remember what episode that is. I'll look it up here in a little bit, but it's not that, I can understand that there was a purpose in it and that it made sense, but it's still not something that's in the Autobots programming to do something like that. So I just don't like seeing that, because it just doesn't make sense to me, I guess.
Is that the one where they're in Tigertron Stadium and they tear down the billboard?
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are just little nitpicks about like when Autobots don't act like Autobots to me. The whole Spitwad and Snot scenes with Falzone, those were some of my least favorite moments. There was ways to do that without being completely grotesque.
But all right,
I understand it's organic, but there was ways to show the organic side without having a spitwad hanging.
You had to get across to them that, hey, look, you fear this.
I understand that. I'm saying there was other ways to do that. Besides having a giant spitwad hanging from somebody's mouth.
Would you rather Fanzone drop his pants and piss all over
He
the
could have
road?
just sneezed or something. He could have just had a sneeze. They didn't need to show it graphically.
Yeah, he just reaches around and gets a big stink fist and chases Rat Trap around with it.
Oh,
I would have rather him I would have rather had him stick his finger in his own nose and then point it at him.
Oh,
a spitwad hanging 3 feet in the air.
That was horrible. Yeah.
Let's see my other moments. I'll just narrow it down to the two final ones, I guess. The Beast Wars reunion at the end of Predacons Rising. I know Steve likes it, but I hated it. I loved all the other Beast Wars moments in that episode. I just did not like the finish with him showing Black Arachne showing up in front of the animals that would never be together.
Right.
And the last one,
it was leading into something else, which it wasn't because you're thinking too deeply into it.
Exactly. It had no point. It was a bad ending to a good episode. And the final least favorite moment is the Allspark gathering in the final episode. The meditative Allspark gathering.
yes.
Oh, the processor over matter jam session?
Yeah, that was stupid.
I think it was fine up until Prowl died.
I think it was fine up until the part where they decided to do it, because it's just a cop-out, easy way to end the problem that they were having, and it was absolutely retarded that the Cyber Ninjas were the end-all, be-all of Transformers Animated.
I like the idea that Season 4 would have started with a non-fragmented Allspark. I mean, it wouldn't have been the gotta catch 'em all mentality of, let's say, like Season 3, where there's all these Allspark fragments we have to gather up, and
right.
Here
I missed something that was in
something different.
I missed something under my least favorite moments that's in all capital letters. I don't know how I missed it. Cyber Ninja bullshit. Okay, I'm done. Anything that had to do with Cyber Ninjas.
Steve, do you have any least favorite moments for Season 3?
Anytime a human appears.
Which wasn't very much in Season 3.
Anytime the Constructicons appear. When the Expendables appear. If you don't catch the Expendables, that's your shitty Autobot replacements.
Yes, I caught that.
Yes. Let me see, what else? The death of Blur.
That's true. I agree.
I cheered. Yay, Blur's dead.
You should be punched in the balls, sir.
Alright, Blur, you suck.
I don't know, there are too many for me to actually count.
Well, there were some I didn't talk about because they're just entire episodes, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to go there, but yeah, that would take me all night.
We're going to get there when we get to least favorite episodes, so... anything else, Steve, for least favorite moments?
I think you better pass.
Michael, least favorite moments?
Least favorite moments. Snarl not getting a speaking role.
Yes.
I think Snarl should... I think he should speak. He's a Dinobot, not a doggy bot.
Slag should definitely speak.
Slag, exactly. Slag should be speaking. We should name him Slag and make him speak. And if he's going to speak,
That's
he
why
should
he
be
couldn't
like...
talk, because people kept calling him the wrong name.
Exactly. He's like, I don't respond to Snarl. That's not my name. It hasn't been my name for 20 years. That's the other guy.
We figured it out.
Exactly, that was a problem. But no, I mean, it's cute. He's a dog, woof woof, I like the interaction between him and Scrapper while he's a dog, but I'd rather have him have a speaking role. And then that leads into my second least favorite moment, which is the general misuse of Dinobots. Yeah. Grimlock is there when he shouldn't be, and then he's not there when he should be.
Yes.
They throw him in there. Just why the hell is he here? He's like, and then he walks away, and that's it for the scene.
It was like they introduced the Dinobots thinking that they were going to use them at some point, and then they never had a use for them. So then every once in a while they're like, oh, we got to feature the Dinobots. But their storyline never went anywhere.
Exactly, and that was my whole issue. And the thing is you've got Grimlock, who's the only one that speaks. Swoop is thrown in there whenever they need a flyer that's not a jet. And then they introduce the Jet Twins. They introduce the Jet Twins, and then Swoop doesn't show up anymore. They don't need a flyer now. So
a storyline that never got wrapped up.
Yeah, no, they were just thoroughly wasted. I mean, wasted as characters, I should say. And there's a lot of G1 storylines that involve the Dinobots that they could have stolen from and made new. Or they could have just killed them, which would have been fine for me. Mm-hmm. I'm not a huge fan of Grimlock. I like seeing him. I like seeing the Dinobots in general. The Dinobots were my favorites as a kid. But
there could have been like some type of all-out epic battle between the Constructicons and the Dinobots where everybody just died.
That would have been awesome. Season 4, we have the Dirt Boss creates Devastator, and they fight the Dinobots, and they all die on the island. And then the island sinks into the ocean, and they call it Atlantis or something.
And they become Sharkticons.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah. Green and purple Sharkticons. Yeah. Okay, we've just created an epic Season 4 episode right here.
Yes.
Let's get on that.
Any other least favorite moments?
I don't know. Not especially, I suppose. There wasn't too much that I hated this season.
For me, I only have two, really, because I didn't really overanalyze it so much as far as just the general stuff, but I've hated Bulkhead this entire series, and Bulkhead as a human is the worst thing they ever did in this series, because he's even more gross than when he was a robot.
Low road.
Yeah. Bulkhead in this series is 1,000,000 times worse than the Low Road.
No.
Yes.
Bulkhead excused himself to go to the toilet. He didn't, shoot missiles out of his ass for an entire episode.
I hate the Low
Road. There's a huge difference here. Are we forgetting the Low Road, how awful it was?
Oh my God.
I hate the Low Road, but I would rather watch that than watch any more of the bathroom humor and stupid robot talk in this series.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the robot talk is also a least favorite moment.
Yes.
See, I don't mind the robot talk.
That drives me fucking batshit crazy.
No, I think that I think that's good writing, to be honest.
No, it's cheap writing.
No, this is back to I want to say, how many times can you actually say how many ways can you do the head joke? He's ahead of his time. He should have stopped while he was ahead. Well, the writers here take that to the extreme every time, and it's a lot of times it's clever, and a lot of times it's like, oh man, make it stop. But in this case, I think the fact that they've done it so many times, it makes it clever by nature.
More than meets the Viz scanners is not clever.
It is. Well, I don't know. I've read enough of the fan fiction, to say, well, why do they call that? Why do they call them optics?
You read the friggin' fan fiction.
There's a lot of good fan fiction out there, to be honest. I mean, there's a lot of really good stuff. But no, it's not fan fiction. Yeah, I've read a lot. Anyway, what it comes down to is, there's a lot of fan fiction out there that's like, oh, moving my servos or seeing things with my optics or, or my olfactory processor. Yeah, we get it. They don't really have noses. All right, and they're not organic. You got to describe them in different ways. I understand, but sometimes it can get a little sickening.
Steve, besides the Low Road, what was the worst episode in the Beast era outside of that?
Out of the Low Road?
No.
Besides that?
Besides the Low Road in the entire Beast Wars, Beast Machines, both those cartoons, what was the worst episode outside of the Low Road?
None.
Come on.
That's it.
See,
there was only one bad episode, and it was the Low Road. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Well, no. What I was going to say was, for me...
He hates Tangled Web.
Okay, yeah, there we go. I would much rather be forced to watch Tangled Web over and over and over again than watch anything with Bulkhead as a human.
Because he gets to hear Tarantulas down there playing with...
anyway, moving on.
Playing with Cheetor going...
I just don't want to hear the word Maximum Burn ever again.
Unless it's from Optimus Prime.
Anyway, moving on. The other one for least favorite moments I had, and Michael brought this up last week. The fact that they start a new storyline, and they never even close it off.
Oh, yeah.
We never found, season 1, season 2, Sari's his daughter. By the time season 2 comes around, oh wait, she's not his daughter. She doesn't even exist.
They built that up so much.
Season 3, she's a Cybertronian, and throughout season 3, through her upgrade, through her all this and all that, she starts getting these extrasensory Cybertronian powers of she can telepathically link to the machines and this, that, and everything. They specifically show her in the ship talking or communicating with the protoforms, and she says, "Oh, that's why I'm here." We never fucking get any resolution to the Sari story whatsoever.
Honestly, as bad as this is, the way they built her up and the way that she was the human that was not a human, she was the answer to everything, she had the key. As sad as this is, to make this series come full circle, she should have been the one that solved the problem in the last episode, not the Cyber Ninjas. That should have been Sari. I wouldn't have liked it either, but she should have been the one that solved everything in the end. Because she was supposed to be... Well, she could die, yeah, that's fine. But, if the series was going to be true to itself, she should have just solved everything by using some finger key or something and just...
It makes sense. You got a point. Yeah.
Because they built her up this entire time.
Yeah, no, I agree.
All right, so moving on to least favorite episodes. Now, we have to start with Kevin and his hatred for Human Error.
I'm sorry, which episode?
Human Error, parts 1 and part 2.
I don't remember an episode called Human Error.
Yes, you do. Come on now. I told you last week, because you didn't mention it in your clip, that on the recap you had to talk about it.
Do you know how many times in my notes I cuss in this?
Just go ahead. I've already said people have listened to us for 2 years now. They know that we are.
I actually used the word fuck, shit, bitch, and I guess those are the only cuss words I used in there. Anyway, I have no problem with Soundwave. Let me get this right. Let me get that straight. Soundwave is one of my all-time favorite characters. Soundwave being merged with Bluegrass from Silverhawks, having a Sonic Attack Soundwave guitar session, I have a problem with.
I thought that was cool, though.
I thought that was the worst moment of the episode.
Okay, but hold on. Before you go any further, they had to figure out a way to homage the cassette characters, without actually making Soundwave back into the cassette deck boombox that no kid in 2007 and beyond would know what the fuck a cassette deck is. So the fact that Laserbeak and Ratbat are a guitar and keytar, I did like that, though.
That's forgivable.
Yeah.
And then we also get Prime with his axe.
Oh, the Transformers turning into humans.
Yeah.
I will say that Prime's voice fit his human character better than his robot.
Well, that's because the model of the human is David Kaye.
I know, I'm just saying. But Bulkhead's voice did not fit the human character at all, in my opinion. I thought Bulkhead's voice only fit the Transformer, not the actual human character. I have written down here, Sari is an ungrateful bitch. I don't know. I don't remember what that's in reference to.
Oh no, I know what it's in reference to, because she's going on. This is the Christmas episode, the two-parter.
Oh yeah,
she's going around showing them her new jetpack and not realizing that they are not there. They're in trouble.
Well, and she was ungrateful every time she opened a present or whatever from her dad or all this other stuff. She was just didn't like her in this episode. Why did the bombs from Mario World show up in this episode? The bombs had teeth and faces. like the Mario one sites.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
bombs. Yeah,
I wasn't quite sure why
it took me a second.
Why were the bombs in Transformers animated? I don't know. I was confused. We got another great anime sequence when Megatron showed up. That was terrible. Then I have a note here that says, "This is so dumb." Followed by a note that says, "You've got to be fucking kidding me." Followed by a note that said, "It's taking everything I have not to shut this shit off right now." Sorry. The worst line in the entire series was uttered in this episode. "If you believe it here, you can make it so." Are you kidding me?
It's from Jean-Luc Picard.
Somebody actually wrote that? Oh my god. And my major problem with this is it was a season 1 episode. This was not a season 3 episode. This had nothing to do with anything else that happened before or after it, really.
Well, it is a season 3 episode in the essence that we already had Soundwave's introduction, so he had already been there, and this was him making a comeback. So okay, that's the only reason.
Season 1 episode. I just don't. It had nothing to do with. It didn't fit in season 3. It didn't fit with the other stuff that we have going on. We got Space Bridge stuff. We got stuff going on with Cybertron. We have the whole Sentinel Prime Optimus Prime feud. We have the whole Shockwave angle, and this is an episode that has nothing to do with any of that.
Okay.
And right. I just could not stand either part of this episode. I stopped writing notes. I would have had 100 more notes. I stopped writing notes because I knew it was just going to be a shit fest. Sonic Guitar Attack. I'm sorry.
Okay, other than Human Error.
Oh, I had one other, yes.
Least favorite episode.
I only have one other one.
Okay.
I only had 2 episodes this entire season that I think I rated under a 5. Human Error I gave a 1, and Three's a Crowd I gave a 4.
Yeah, Three's a Crowd was just dumb.
It was another throwaway episode that didn't belong in season 3 to me.
Yep.
So
I agree.
Those are my only 2 least favorite episodes.
Yeah.
See, there's only 2.
Steve, least favorite episodes? Oh boy.
Three's a Crowd, Whereas They Sting. Human Error Part 1 and 2. Decepticon Air.
You didn't like Decepticon Air?
I don't care for half this show.
Oh, man.
I like Decepticon Air for the multiple Decepticons that were in it, but it was just kind of asinine. Yes, Prime climbs out of a transwarp bucket that's in Swindle.
Swindle gave birth to Optimus Prime.
And Swindle is a crack whore that could not hold a space bridge in his chest. Because you saw what it did to Omega and Megatron and Starscream, and no, this guy carries around a portable one in his pocket.
Good point. I did like that episode, but good point.
And all the Decepticons get free. It's like, can you be any more stupid?
I think they just used the wrong terminology there. They should have called it his subspace pocket, and somehow subspace and transwarp coincide somehow, and that's how it happened. But to actually say he has a warp gate in his chest is kind of ridiculous.
Prime just wanted to feel like what it was like to be inside a Decepticon.
Oh, wow.
I want to be in you. Now I want to get out. Ah!
And then he says, "Give me your face," as he grabs his face.
Yeah.
Need I go on?
You have any other least favorite ones?
The Expendables?
Yeah.
Showing up in the Human Error? The Autobots being evil? Soundwave being a lame ass?
Agreed.
Michael, any least favorite episodes?
Anything Prowl?
Not anything with such vehement hatred as Steve, but I liked it's his least favorite. Never mind. Well, I didn't like any of these. No, I didn't like Where's Thy Sting?
I'm not.
Well, no, yeah, exactly. No, I like that they brought Wasp in.
Where's Thy Sting?
Well, let me clarify here. I mean, I like Wasp and Wasp. I like Wasp. The fact that he's a traitor, but he's not a traitor, or they think he's a traitor, and now he's back, and we have to try to apologize to him, but he never does. Basically, they didn't use Wasp well enough in this episode, in my opinion. And I think they just kind of brought him in to set him up for his later appearance as Waspinator, which was a much better episode. This episode seems like an excuse to introduce the Jet Twins, which
should have never happened.
I know, they're just my two least favorite characters. Have we covered least favorite characters?
Not yet.
No. Those two. Yeah. Big time. So yeah, I wasn't as happy with this. Just, the whole, what the hell is an electric paint job? And I don't know. It just didn't sit well with me. I didn't like Three's a Crowd. In the beginning, some deck compares Bulkhead to Hitler.
He did do that.
He did do that, yeah. And I just like, seriously. There was almost a Devastator, but they spoiled it.
Yeah.
It's like, I understand that you don't know if there's going to be a season 4, but you know that there'd be a Devastator in season 4. And there's a chance you might not have a season 4. So you've got 2 minutes to spare here at the end of this episode. Instead of, top of the world, Ma, why don't you give us something we want to see? Make the three of them combine. You've already got Safeguard, who's literally, the left half of a guy and the right half of a guy smooshed together to make a guy. But here you'd have, Scrapper and Mixmaster smooshed together into one guy with a head on top of it. It would still be twice as big as any one of the other Transformers, including Megatron. I would have taken that, even if you had blown him up at the end. That would have been fine by me.
I agree.
And maybe they set it up for Scrapper later, but I really think that was an afterthought. I think toward the end they just said, we're never going to get a Devastator. Let's just slip Scrapper in here and make him a replacement Autobot, which is dumb on many levels, but number one, because he's a Decepticon. So I didn't see it. And Dirt Boss is just not a good character. He'd make an awesome head for Devastator.
The only thing good about that episode was Redgar.
In Three's a Crowd?
Wasn't he in there?
No, later on.
Oh.
No, he was later. He was in This Is Why I Hate Machines.
Oh, that's right. I'm getting my things confused.
Yeah.
This is why. No. It was Human Error Part 2.
Yeah.
The replacement. Yeah. So you've got Scrapper, you've got Redgar, and Snarly. Snarly was there. Snarly! You're Snarly!
Do you have any other least favorite episodes besides Where's I Sing and Three's a Crowd?
God, I'm still ranting about Three's a Crowd, Cerebro Shells, really? And he dances around going, "You got a problem? You got a problem?" No, I couldn't take it. So no, I didn't like that episode. But that's it's about the only two I didn't like, though.
Yeah. For me, as far as least favorite episodes, there are a couple episodes in here, stuff like there's some stuff in 5 Servos of Doom I could do without. There's plenty of stuff in Human Error I could do without. But mainly overall what it comes down to in season 3 is Three's a Crowd does not fucking belong in this series whatsoever. It's a full-on throwaway episode. It adds nothing to the total story. Dirt Boss is nothing but a Burgess Meredith ripoff, and a bad one at that.
No, it's not Burgess Meredith. We talked about this in that episode.
Yes, we did, and
I think it was James Cagney was the character.
Well, no. Anyway, it just that was just horrible episode. So moving on to
the worst part about Human Error was that it was 2 parts, though.
Okay.
I spent 2 episodes on that.
This sucks, and it's going to suck next week, too.
Okay, I'm done with the episodes now.
All right, moving on to the final category is least favorite characters in Season 3. And I'm going to go first because I'm going to get these out of the way right now. The entire series. I've never liked Lugnut, Bulkhead, and Bumblebee. But specifically, Lugnut in Season 3... his constant pontificating. Oh my god. If any Decepticon deserved the mouth clamp from Sentinel Prime, it's Lugnut.
He said pontificate.
So did you not like Inferno and Beast Wars either?
No, Inferno was funny. Lugnut is not funny. Lugnut is, sucking on Megatron's dick all the time.
So if he had called Megatron my queen, you would have thought it was okay.
I swear it's the same character.
It is similar. The same character, but Lugnut is just
He's a baby back bitch.
Plus the other thing for me, and I know they only wanted to have one triple changer. It should have been Blitzwing and Astro Train. God damn it, not fucking Lugnut.
I kind of like Lugnut.
No fucking Lugnuts.
Bulkhead, again, why are you creating or inserting a character that has nothing to do with the Autobot team whatsoever?
Bulkhead?
Yes, Bulkhead.
I think that they created him because they needed a strong guy, and they didn't want to use Brawn. Honestly, if they had named Bulkhead Brawn, I would have bought it.
Yep.
But it would have had to be a different voice actor.
Not necessarily.
It just would have been better.
Well, look at Prowl. Prowl was still Prowl. He's still a police car, kind of, but a completely different character. Whereas this would have been Brawn. It still would have been Brawn, but a completely different character.
They could have had Hoist. They could have had Brawn. They could have had Gears.
Well, look at Ratchet. Ratchet is still a ambulance, but complete different character.
But
it would have been okay.
What were you going to say, Steve?
I said, but he has a lot of homages, whereas Bulkhead looks nothing like any of those other characters, and so that would just piss people off.
Yeah,
there was just plenty of characters they could have chosen to do instead of Bulkhead. If they needed a strong character, there was dozens to choose from.
Brawn was
not a green 4x4?
Brawn was never an APC.
When was Brawn not a... Brawn? When was Brawn not a green truck?
He was a green truck, but he was never, this overweight APC.
I honestly think that if they had named him Brawn, people would have been a little more forgiving.
I doubt it.
I would have.
Yeah. No,
I would.
It needed a completely different.
That's why I don't like the character. I think he's lovable. I like him.
Ugh.
No, I mean he's
about as bad
and
as
stumbling, and honestly, I like this rendition of Brawn better than I like Transformers Prime Brawn, because Transformers Prime Brawn isn't lovable at all. He's kind of horrible. He's mean.
Wait.
Bulkhead.
No, Bulkhead, not Brawn. Stop calling him fucking Brawn.
Oh, I meant Bulkhead.
No, Transformers Prime Bulkhead is awesome.
Oh,
that's a whole nother show, guys.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not even gonna go there. Yeah, let's talk about what Prime did to Wheeljack.
Hold on, shut up. I like the Wheeljack homage.
Oh, God.
Transformers.
Anyways, the final character that really takes the cake. This character has only had one redeeming, smart thing that he ever did the entire series. For season 3, though, he's still a dick, which is Bumblebee. Still cannot stand Bumblebee.
Could not tell which character you were talking about.
I
need to be more specific.
Pick one, yeah. Again, Bumblebee has this transition that he goes through the length of the series, where season 3 Bumblebee is way better mannered, more mature. He screws up less than season 1 Bumblebee.
He's still annoying as hell, though.
I thought Bulkhead and Bumblebee were better in season 3 than the other 2 seasons, whereas Lugnut I thought was a little bit worse in this season than the other 2.
Yeah, I agree. About Lugnut, I mean Lugnut's really Lugnut at some point ended up being comic relief.
Yeah, I just liked Lugnut a lot in the earlier seasons, and I didn't really care for him as much this season.
Yeah. Earlier, he was more like the Brawn. He's like the answer to Bulkhead on the Decepticon side. And then when they introduced Shockwave, well, Shockwave is badass, so now we have to kind of dumbify Lugnut.
Yeah.
Lugnut kind of got the Grimlock treatment in season 3 of G1, where it's like, well, we have this badass character, but now we have to, put him in the butler uniform and make him serve drinks.
That would have almost been awesome if they did that to Lugnut in this.
That would have been awesome.
Jeeves.
Where's my martini?
All right, Kevin, what are your least favorite characters?
All right, I narrowed it down to 6. First of all,
they're all human.
No, I didn't. None of them are human on my list because there really wasn't many humans in season 3, which was a good thing. Over the just brief appearances, I could not stand Red Alert, and I could not stand Stryker.
Stryker.
Oh, Stryker. Oh, come on.
I call it Stryker because I'm not going to call it Stryker because it's not.
You hate women, don't you?
Well, with Red Alert,
All
I
female
hate it
characters.
when I do this. I hate it not when I do this. I hate it when reboots do this, and I'm actually gonna do a blog on this one at one point. But I hate when remakes change the gender of a character. It's
Okay.
It's just weird. They've done it in Care Bears. They've done it in Transformers. They've done it in G.I. Joe, and I just don't understand why you change a male character to a female or a female to a male. Like, why did it have to be Red Alert? Why couldn't it have been one of the other female Autobots?
I think I was happier seeing Red Alert as a nurse.
Well, he acted like a nurse in G1, yes, but
Hello, nurse. Yeah.
Strika can burn in hell. That was a terrible voice. It was a terrible look. It was a terrible character. As far as the characters that actually had a bigger part, Sentinel Prime obviously can go rotten hell. Jetfire and Jetstorm are by far the worst character that they ever came up with in this entire series.
Amen.
And it's a shame that they actually even called the one Jetfire, because that's just like blasphemy.
That's like a bitch slap to the face.
Yeah, it's almost as much of a bitch slap as creating a emo character and calling it Prowl. Because that is... I was hoping that eventually he would grow on me, since he was my favorite G1 character, but I just cannot stand anything they did with this character. It should not be Prowl. They should have called it Hound or something, or Mirage, or something else besides Prowl. And my last character that I didn't like, and you guys are not going to agree with me, but I could not stand Yokotron.
What?
I could kind of understand that. I just liked him for how he looked and the
His
voice.
look was okay. The look and the voice was okay. I just don't like him as a character, and I don't like him as the sensei of the Cyber Ninjas.
I did. Well, you just didn't like the ninjas altogether, but I liked the fact that the character and the voice, but I didn't like the fact that he just kind of rolled over and died. He's like, "Oh, we have to protect the Sparks, but I don't want to come back to life, so fuck you."
No, that was wisdom there, because Prowl does the same thing when he dies.
Wisdom my ass. That's just the
my time to
bitch
die.
It's easy to die and give up.
The best things the writers did was kill Yokotron and Prowl.
It did fit. It did. But no, I would have been happier, like Kevin said, I would have been happier if it was Sorry saving the day with her key and her magic fingers.
It would have wrapped everything up in a nice little bow.
Yeah.
She could have really pressed Megatron's buttons and put him offline.
Wow.
Give him a nice massage with those Ghost in the Shell fingers,
Yeah.
All right.
Happy ending, Megatron?
Tentacle fingers.
Who else has least favorite characters I haven't talked about?
Steve, what are your least favorite characters from season 3?
Okay, we're gonna have fun with this one.
Let's say Yokotron.
No, I'm not. First of all, I would agree with TFG1 as far as I greatly dislike Bumblebee, Lugnut, and what's his face. Tells you how important he is to me.
His face.
Yes, Bulkhead.
Oh,
I hate the rendition of Rattletrap.
Yes.
Despite
Really?
the fact that it's an homage. Yes.
that was so Rat Trap, and I know you love Rat Trap, so...
I like Ratttrap, but they kind of butchered his personality. At least they could have done is at least stuck similar, kind of like they did with Black Arachnia and Waspinator.
Yeah.
See, if they had brought Scotty in there, you would have been like, woohoo, Rat Trap!
But Rattrap's not little bitch that cowers to the bad guy.
The thing is,
You are forgetting season 1 Rat Trap.
Yeah, but everybody that sees Waspinator and Black Arachnia in Transformers Animated will recognize immediately who they are. Half the people will not even realize that that's Rat Trap.
Really? That's pretty obvious.
Oh no, the entire fandom was up in an uproar when Derek J.
I'm talking
Wyatt-
about the casual fan that saw Beast Wars, and then I'm not talking about diehard fans. I'm talking about the casual person that saw Beast Wars and then saw Animated. You would see Black Arachnia and Waspinator and be like, oh, they're from Beast Wars. You would see that character and you'd be like, who is that? It did not.
Well, you wouldn't give him a second thought. It would be no
Right.
more important than Huffer, Power Glide, Sea Spray, any of those.
Right. You wouldn't have been like, oh, that's Rat Trap from Beast Wars. You wouldn't have said that. A casual fan would not say that.
No.
Well,
So boo.
Truck Not Monkey fan would say that.
Yeah, probably, but they're diehards, so.
Who's that supposed to be? Why can I see his brain? That makes no sense to me.
Perceptor, I would say, is horrible because of the voice. They could have
How did they get Stephen Hawking to do the voice for that?
That wasn't Stephen
I
Hawking.
know.
That wasn't Stephen Hawking. That was Roger Ebert.
Oh, God.
It was Microsoft Bob. Remember Microsoft Bob?
That was a long time ago.
The look of Perceptor was cool. Yeah, the voice just destroyed it.
Yeah.
I couldn't understand a word he said. I liked him because it's Perceptor, but yeah.
He was talking about pantsing the Decepticons, and that's all I got out of it.
Wheeljack should have said something. That would have
Sentinel should have been popped in the forehead.
And other places,
long time ago.
chin.
Yeah, in his chin. Well, popped in his chin and then shot through the brain and never to be revived. Or Prime should have just hit him with the Magnus hammer.
Yes.
Okay, before you go on about Sentinel, I looked up Perceptor on here, and it doesn't. Perceptor isn't it?
It's a computer voice.
It's voiced by Plain Talk, which
Yeah.
is an unknown speech synthesizer. So there was no actual fucking voice actor.
Right.
It's
But it shouldn't have had that. It's no different than in TF Prime, which obviously we'll get into a hell of a lot longer from now, but
later, yeah.
of Bumblebee and Soundwave having no voice at all.
Let's not get into that argument.
Slag.
But yes, I would say overall that there were quite a few characters, but those are just the tip of the iceberg.
Yes.
Okay. And Michael, what are your least favorite characters?
Safeguard.
Okay.
Just why?
To sell more toys.
No, you can't even say it's to sell more toys because that toy sucked. That was not even a good toy. It's like, when you're in bed with a woman and
Oh, here we go.
no, and you're kind of cuddled up, and you're next to her. Let's say you're cuddled, and you have your arm kind of under her, right? And you don't know what to do with that arm because it's just going to sleep.
Wow.
And you don't want to move it because it's like then you're not cuddling anymore. That's kind of a nice reference for the entire Safeguard toy. Safeguard, it's like you've got two halves of two people kind of smushed together in the middle, except for that extra arm is hanging out their back. It really doesn't know where to go. It doesn't look right. It looks like someone's arm hanging
Well,
out
it
your
goes
back.
up their partner's ass.
That would be
Scratch my
better.
ass.
I would take that. I would say, hey, that's fine.
I don't know.
They-
That'd be kind of gross to take that, but
No, I mean, yeah, that doesn't sound right. I mean, I would accept that from the toy if they had, somehow managed to get that arm in between the two of them and factored in, so that it wasn't hanging out. And even if they did have it hanging out, there's still the leg hanging out. So it's like, is that a wing? Is it a giant hemorrhoid? I'm not sure exactly what they're trying to get at here. Even individually, the two characters weren't very good toys. And this is from a series with just awesome toys, with good articulation and nice transformations. And, it was a travesty. I didn't even take mine out of the package. I had to buy it because I bought them all, but it's still sitting in the closet in the package. So, yeah, I don't like Safeguard. Didn't like the voices. I mean, you think Perceptor's bad. I couldn't understand a damn word these two were saying. And when you read the transcript of what they're saying, it's kind of clever. It's like, oh, well, that's kind of neat, how they said that. At one point, they say something, or Sentinel Prime tells them, oh, go create a diversion. And he's like, well, what being diversion? And he says, well, diversion is blowing stuff up. And he goes, oh, I like diversion. And they said it almost like the version. And it was a play on that. And it's clever written on paper, but when they actually say it, it's like, oh, God, this is so freaking annoying. I can't even... No, so I don't like that character. Didn't like it when they threw him in, and when they introduced him. Didn't like him when he showed up in every damn episode after that. It's like, did they need a flyer that bad, bring back Swoop. Swoop will come in and fly Sentinel Prime to the island.
Or give somebody else a jetpack.
Exactly. We'll figure it out. It just annoyed me. And then you've got Dirt Boss, who, number one, is just I don't want to say annoying, but, he's got that whole, you got a problem? And that is literally, you got a problem is literally 50% of his lines in that episode. And I mean, it's an interesting storyline. He's a gangster and a mobster, let's say, because gangster sounds too rap video, but he's a mobster and from 1920s Chicago, and he's gonna take over the town by cornering the resources and that sounds kind of neat, but it just didn't play out that way. And the fact that he's a Constructicon and we want a Devastator, we want one so bad we can taste it, and yet the potential is lost. You can't see me shake the fist here, but it's emphasizing, right? It's like there's a pause for emphasis, and the fist is shaking, and it's like they can't see that. All right. So yeah, Dirt Boss, the lost potential, he really bothered me. But I mean, as far as overall characters that I didn't like, I've never liked Lugnut. Even when he became comic relief toward the end, didn't like him. Just didn't see what Techno saw in that guy.
God, let's not even go there.
He'll tell us, I'm sure.
Let's not even.
This will be the one call-in we get for the whole series. Will be Techno going, Lugnut's the best.
Yeah, let's not even go there.
Yeah, but no, I don't. I like everybody, even the human characters for the most part.
I'm surprised you didn't pick Oil Slick as your least favorite, Mike.
Oil Slick?
Well, he's only in that one scene, so.
But he kills your boy.
He did show up in that second human episode, briefly.
Did he?
Yeah, he was. Team Char showed up.
I just thought you put him on there since he killed your favorite character.
Wait, no, Oil Slick was not showing up second. Oil Slick only showed up once.
No, Team Char showed up for a brief second in the full-on Decepticon assault on the planet at the end.
Oh, yeah, but there was no speaking roles for that, though.
Did he speak at all?
Yes, he did.
Killed Rodimus.
It was.
I think he just killed Rodimus. He didn't say anything.
Well, I was just going to bring him up because actually that was Springer in disguise.
Yeah. He does have a voice actor. It is Phil Lamar. He did say something. He goes, after Rodimus goes, you're going to have to get past me, Decepticreep. Oil Slick goes, you act like that's a big deal, Autobot. Or he says something like that, and then he flicks the Cosmic Rust cylinder at Rodimus. So he did talk.
Oh, okay.
But the scene in Human Error where they're attacking the planet, the only one that has a speaking role in that is Starscream. None of the other ones actually speak, so I don't count that as... That's just a background appearance of Oil Slick.
It has been spoken. It is law.
Shut up.
It's my opinion, damn it. My opinion.
Fuck you guys. I'm going home.
How many times are you going to go home?
Shut up.
He won't stay home. He keeps coming back.
Do we have anything else we want to bring up before we go to break? Do we have anything else we need to discuss about Season 3?
No, not that I'm not going to speak of in Episode 20.
Oh, lovely. All right, so...
Is it another episode? What?
We're going to take a quick break. You're going to hear some ads and some quotes and all that happy crap. I almost actually forgot to put the quotes in last week. I had to re-edit last week's episode like 3 different times, even though I still left a piece in.
Transformation Animation Podcast will be back after these messages.
Podcast good.
Jazz here, and I'm jiving to Transformation Animation.
Right. Sure. Robot dame in a room. Explains everything.
You gotta tune up or tune out, old bot.
Why don't you try fighting like a jet?
That is, unless you don't think you can handle transforming. It is pretty difficult, especially for a noob such as yourself.
Ugh! Nobody calls me a noob! This is a Cybertronian fugitive, and I'll enforce my authority as the Primer Prime!
Did you just make that up?
No. There's no such thing as a Primer Prime. It's a real term. Look it up.
I'm not gonna look it up.
Afraid I'm right?
You can now hear the Geekcast Radio Network while on the go with Stitcher Smart Radio. Stitcher is a free use and talk mobile app available for your smartphone. And when you download Stitcher to hear Geekcast Radio, you'll have a chance to win money. Downloading is quick and easy. Just find Stitcher in the App Store. During registration, hit the promo code box and enter Geekcast Radio, all one word, to get automatically entered to win $100. The latest episodes of the shows will be waiting for you in your favorites. You'll get access to lots of other amazing shows too. Always available to you on demand, no syncing. It's Stitcher Smart Radio. Don't forget to enter promo code Geekcast Radio when you register. Soundwave, jam that transmission!
Rumble Frenzy, Ravage Rat-Bat, Eject, Operation Interference.
No, there will be no Operation Interference. I am TFG1 Mike, and you should be listening to my very first podcast, the TFG1 Podcast. 24 episodes covering the entire U.S. run of the 1984 Transformers cartoon. I also have a few supplemental episodes and an interview with Stan Bush. I bring in guest hosts who will be full-time co-hosts in Steve Megatron and fan of the show, now co-host Pecan Court Michael. So check out the TFG1 Podcast. You can find it on iTunes and the web at www.geekcastradio.com. Transform and roll out!
Welcome to my throne room, Future Tales. The Beast Unleashed podcast is over, not gone. You can hear more of this great podcast, discussing all the episodes of Beast Wars and Beast Machines on GeekCastRadio.com. We include voice actor and writer interviews with stellar hosting by Steve, Mike, and Michael. Head on over to iTunes or the net, or else I will send you my vehicles to extract your spark and destroy you. Yes.
Stan Bush here, and I dare you to check out Radio Free Cybertron.
This is Brian Kilby, host of Radio Free Cybertron, the original Transformers internet radio show, and one of the world's first podcasts. First online in 1999. Yes, 1999. We've been doing this for a while. We are also the official podcast of tformers.com, and quite frankly, we're pretty awesome. So check us out, tfradio.net.
Foxcellent. Yes.
God. It's working now. I don't think it caught that, but it's working now.
Foxcellent. Yes.
Oh, that's my new favorite word.
Yes, Foxcellent. Fuck you, and the ship you rode in on.
Daniel Craig is my Wookiee bitch now.
New Transformers Animated. Can anyone stop the sinister Starscream? Luckily, the city has new protectors, Optimus Prime and the Autobots. They're teaming up to take down the Decepticons and save the city. Transformers Animated. Each sold separately, actual change time will vary.
I'm Sentinel Prime, and I approve of this message.
Now back to Transformation Animation Podcast.
We are back here on Transformation Animation Podcast, and each of us is going to go around the table and give our final thoughts on just Season 3, and then that'll be it. So, Kevin, what are your final thoughts on Season 3?
I'm looking for the table. Hold on. I don't see a table anywhere near me.
Okay,
my final thoughts on Season 3 were, like you guys said, it was a step above the previous seasons. We had a lot less humans, yay. We had a lot more Cybertron, yay. And a lot more jazz, yay. No, it was good. at points. There was a lot more solid episodes than the other seasons had. There wasn't quite as many just completely lame episodes. There was a few, but not a ton. The only problem, I think, with Season 3 for me is there was, like we talked about, there's a lot of stories that were left not finished and loose ends not tied up. Maybe they all had plans to do stuff in a future season, but you can't always count on that. So it kind of sucks when it gets cut off and you can't finish stories, but I can totally understand why this was cut off after 3 seasons. So,
it's because of that fucking sequel. That's what it was.
No, it wasn't. It was because it was a terrible series.
Because of that fucking sequel.
But yeah, Season 3, more Cybertron, more Autobots, so I guess that's a good thing.
Steve, final thoughts on Season 3?
Better than Season 1 and 2, but ultimately it fails.
What?
Ultimately, it gets canceled.
Michael, final thoughts on Season 3?
Season 3 had a much darker tone than the 2 previous seasons. I like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the crazed medical experiments by Black Arachnia. I like Sentinel Prime trying to take over the world and shooting everything that moves. Single-handedly creating the Hitler Youth and the Red Scare, trying to shoot down Omega Supreme. He just becomes pretty wicked in Season 3. There's lots of talk of war and the consequences of war, such as many of the characters being killed.
Thank goodness.
Some of it was cool. They didn't kill RC, which didn't make any sense to me, because she actually gets struck down.
That's true.
Yeah, they actually, I want to say, Shockwave kind of, was particularly vicious, kind of grabs all the feeds out of her skull and pulls them free, and previously, even the Autobot said, if we pull all this crap out of her head, she's going to die. And she didn't die. In fact, they revived her and she was fine afterward, which, again, previously they said would never happen because he brain fried her. But now she should have died, and I kind of agree to a certain extent that, Sari should have been the one sacrificing herself at the end.
Plus, then we would have been assured that she never came back in another series ever again.
Yeah. Well, no, what they could have done is they could have sacrificed her Cybertronian side and her human element. True. Then they could have made her 8 years old again.
And she could have married Chip Chase in a future universe.
There you go. Or she could have married Daniel.
That's how we got here.
That's right. No, it was a great ending. But I wanted to see a Season 4. And I know some people are like, well, Season 4. But I would have liked to have seen a Devastator. I would have liked to have seen what happened to Sari. I would have liked to have seen something decent done with the Dinobots.
If Season 3 would have been Season 1, then you probably would have got a Season 4. If they would have started with Season 3.
Well, no, if you go on the assumption that the series got canceled because it was crap, which some people may believe, then yeah, maybe that was true. If they had started as strongly as Season 3 had started, then there definitely would have been a Season 4. But I don't believe that to be the case. I'm agreeing with Blanchard that they got canceled because there was just no room for the toys on the shelf because they were selling the hell out of Transformers 2's toys.
Yep.
So how is Transformers Prime allowed to be in existence?
Because Dark of the Moon is the last movie for a while, and the Dark of the Moon toys are now off the shelves, pretty much. They're still there, but
notice that they didn't sell any toys until after the Dark of the Moon toys are. They still have a couple Dark of the Moon repaints out on the shelves now, but we don't have any Prime toys. They're selling them through Big Bad Toy Store as a test market, but that's it.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it coexisted with the movie.
The series coexisted only because the Hasbro's coming out with this unified Transformers theory, where they're rewriting the mythos, and they're still screwing it up because the books and the comics and the movie and Transformers Prime still don't agree.
Well, the movie's not supposed to agree. It's not supposed to agree with the movie.
No, I think
it's Michael Bay raping us.
No, it's the movies are outside of that. It's supposed to be the video game, the the books and Transformers Prime are supposed to be in the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, even then they're screwing it up. And Transformers Prime is enough like the movie. I mean, honestly, the Optimus Prime figure is, well, the first one they released is kind of interchangeable with a movie Prime.
Yeah.
The Bumblebee figures are interchangeable with a movie Bumblebee.
Yeah.
I like that they introduced a Bulkhead. I like that figure. I like that character still exists. But I don't know. It's not different enough from Bayformers to really make me take notice.
Season 3,
I haven't
final
even
thoughts.
watched the last three episodes.
Season 3, damn it.
All right, yes. Anyway, season 3. Really like how it ended. I would have liked to have seen more. I'll be happy watching the season go with that ending scene with the sound. I want to say the soundtrack, the better song, the music, and everybody standing there with a hammer and the thing around his neck, and yay, we won, and he should be Magnus.
Long story short.
Yeah, exactly. Season 4, Magnus.
Yes.
Elite Guard Bumblebee. I mean, there's so much potential here. What the hell, people?
No. Let it die.
And as far as my overall thoughts for Season 3, it was amazing on the surface and very fan-wanky. I did love it as a general watch-through. However, upon further analysis, it does have a few slight glitches and flaws. We all wish for Season 4, well, most of us except for Kevin. But they ended the series on such a high note, it was awesome.
Okay, then.
The ending high note was awesome.
I'm totally lost the ending high note because I was so pissed off at the Cyber Ninja gathering of Bellspark. The last scene must have just totally blew over my head because I was so pissed off.
Probably.
The last scene made the season.
I'll have to rewatch the last scene.
It was like they return to Cybertron, conquering heroes. They have Megatron trussed up like Hannibal Lecter.
Oh, that's right. It was the Star Wars moment. Okay, never mind.
Oh, that was awesome.
No, it wasn't.
Maybe that's why I liked it so much.
I remember now.
Rocket still didn't get a medal. I don't know what happened here.
All right. So thank you for joining
that closing
us.
sound. Yep. Da da da. Shigaroth. Da da da.
No.
We're calling
Get your Star Wars shit out of my Transformers.
No.
That's what she said.
If there can be ninjas in Transformers, there can be Star Wars in Transformers.
Well, there are those horrible crossover toys. Let's not get into that.
Oh, don't get me started.
Thank you. There are those horrible Star Wars Transformers, Marvel Transformers crossover toys. We're not getting into that. Thank you for joining us here on Transformation Animation Podcast. There are several ways to get in contact with us to leave feedback for the show. Visit the website, geekcastradio.com. You can comment on each episode post. Leave the show's feedback in iTunes. Please do this. Follow us on Twitter. The show name there is TFA Podcast. Mine is TFG and Mike. Kevin, what is your Twitter?
Optimus Solo.
Steve?
CP21.
Michael?
Pecan CT Michael.
You actually remembered this time.
It was on the ball, yes.
Yes. Become a fan on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/Geekcast or Radio Network. We are now up to 295 fans. Thank you to all of you. Call the voicemail line. Tell us the show you're leaving a message for and your name. 502-526-5821. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Transformation Animation Podcast and wish you'll join us next time when we will be talking about Transformers Animated The Toys with special guest Beta the Bolt Matrix. For now, I am TFG1 Mike with
Michael Wilson, who will also be here next week.
Optimus Solo, who will not be here next week.
And Steve Megatron Phillips, who will not be present.
We will tap you again next week.
This is Optimus Solo, and I survived watching 3 seasons of Transformers Animated.
Man. Roll, let's just go.
You wouldn't dare do something that stupid!
I am Rekgar! I dare to be stupid!
Transform and roll out.